Welcome to the ninth installment of ESPN Honolulu Fan Friday Talk Story. I'm your host, Tiff Wells. With me today is two-time first-team All-American. He's a junior libero for men's volleyball, Gage Worsley. Gage, welcome to Talk Story.
Hey, thank you guys. Thanks so much for having me.
It's a pretty uncommon first name. Tell us how your parents came up with the name Gage.
My birthday was October 21st, so I'm a Halloween baby. And so they were searching for names. They were going to name me like, they're big Niners fans. We all are big Niners fans. So they were going to name me like Jerry Rice Worsley, but that just doesn't fit very well, or like Dwight Clark. Because my brother's name is Joe Montana Worsley. Middle name Montana, first name Joe. So for me, they were like, okay, October 21st, Halloween theme. We need a Halloween themed baby named Baby. So they go and they see that apparently around the time I'm about to be born, go see Pet Sematary, which is an adaptation it's a Stephen King novel, and they adapted it into a film. It's a classic horror movie now. And in that film, there's this baby, blonde hair and everything. He gets, basically what happens is there's this like Indian burial grounds next to it, and if you put like someone dead in there, they'll come back. But there's a catch to it, and so the baby is like named Gage, right? It's a very unique name. Gets killed. They put him in the pet cemetery, as they call it. He comes back, but they come back evil, and then he continues to basically come and kill his whole family. So then they were like, all right, then that's what we're gonna name our kid right there. So I had a lot of high expectations to live up to when they came out with that name. So but I love my name. It's a unique name, and when I tell people, I try and scam them as much as possible. And,
now we know.
Have fun with
Now
it.
we have this. Now we have the story of how you got your name, your nickname.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very unique one. Tell us what your nickname is and how that came about.
By now I have like 20 nicknames, but the main nickname, G Swizzles, of course. So what happened was I was in the fourth grade. I'm sorry if there's construction in the background. I'm sorry if you guys can pick that up. But in like, I want to say the 6th or 7th grade, right? I started acting like I was like freestyle. I was like rapper, and they're like, "What's your name?" Like not like seriously. Like in class, I was messing around, right? Get in trouble. I was like, "My name's G Swizzle or J Swizzles." And the thing with me, like when I say stuff, it goes in like one year I won't say it, and the next year I'll pick it up randomly again. I just kind of work with that. And my freshman year, it was one of those years where I started using it again randomly, and it was right when they were writing our bios, And so I'm like, and I gave it to myself. Like usually that never happens. Like you don't give your nickname to yourself. And I remember I told Charlie, and right when they were writing my bio, they're like, anything else? I was like, yeah, my nickname G Swizzles. And they put that in my bio. And usually, especially for Hawaii, they don't put like anything like joking around. And they just put it in there. And I told Charlie, I was like, look at that, Charlie. And then he's like, you can't give yourself a nickname. And there were 3 people I remember that came up to me like, you can't do it. You can't do it. I was like, watch me do this. Watch me do this. And bam, now a lot of people I get people coming up to me, calling me G Swizzles. So all those people that hated on me can eat it because I made it, and here I am. I've made a nickname, and and anytime I see them, I'm like, hey, remember that time you said I couldn't do it? Well, look where we're at.
You've made it. You're a junior libero. You're a first team All-American a couple times. Now you're on our podcast. Now you're on our Fan Friday Talk Story segment.
Yeah.
So you've really made it full circle here, Gage. So you grew up in Moraga, California. You and your older brother Joe. We'll talk more about him later on. You guys shared a bedroom. Describe for us what it was like to live with Joe, because you guys were always competing with one another at practically anything and everything, right?
Right. Well, it was kind of a compete, and then we also play in the same team. But anytime we're not doing, like in practice, we'll compete against each other, right? But anytime we're not, not having like an actual game or tournament, we're definitely going at it. Chaotic. My parents always said that if it's quiet up there where we're living or where our room is, something's going on that's not good. Joe's not much of a person that I can just be in my own world and just do whatever. I can literally just be by myself for like a whole day or whatever, and I don't mind. Joe's the exact opposite. He needs someone there or whatever. He needs someone like just like to do something, right? So if I'm just in there when I was younger, just doing my own thing, he'll come over, destroy what I'm doing. It's like, come on, let's go. And he can't function on his own, I guess. So that was kind of always all of it. And then we'd always set up one thing I love about my parents is that they let us be like really physical, right? So we didn't have any pent up anger, right? When we had anger, we brought it out on each other, and they kind of let us just basically, till this day, still beat the crap out of each other, just fight and just like punch each other. I mean, blood was always being broken and stuff was glasses being broken. That did not that end up in some punishments for sure. But the one good thing is we always got our anger out, and our parents let us kind of be that can feed that competitive nature, not kind of calm it down. So it was very competitive, very intense, and a lot of fights.
What sports did you grow up playing?
So our first sport, soccer. We're good at soccer. One people like we're pretty athletic. Like we're pretty good at most sports. Joe was like 10 when this happened. He was about to go to Italy for like a soccer like tournament, and he was like 10. Like we were like in the pipeline of really good soccer. And then we picked up volleyball. My dad didn't want us to play volleyball, even though he was a head volleyball coach at a college nearby. He didn't want to feel like he was forcing us to do something. So we did that, and then we did football. I pretty much played everything. Let me try and get it all in my head. We did a little hockey sometimes. That wasn't as serious. I played water polo. I played basketball. Played lacrosse. There's one more I'm thinking of. I think I got it all, but I'm not entirely sure. We played like pretty much every sport. We did it. I did swimming as well. God, there's just so many. I don't even know. We just tried to do it all. Get as many sports as possible.
When did you know that volleyball was going to be your sport of choice?
We were 8. I was 8 years old, and I quit every other sport because we knew we wanted to put in the time, and that's when my dad really started putting the time with us too. Because there's 2 years he didn't want to coach us, just let us kind of be. And then we were 8, and Joe was like, sorry, what were you saying?
No. Continue.
It was like Joe was like 9 or 10, and he's like, if you really want to take it serious, if you're really going to quit all these other sports. No, he didn't say to quit all the other sports. He said, if you're going to do this, it's okay, I'll be serious with you. And then so at the age of like 8, I was like, all right, I'm fully dedicated to this. And I remember one story I forget to tell people. I don't know if you guys know Marv Dunphy. He's the legendary Pepperdine coach. They come and play in the year before, and we're working the game as ball boys because they came to as a fundraiser, right? I used to pay for Base Bootlegger, and the club director there, and knew the Penn State coach had really deep ties, so they came for an exhibition preseason match where we're at, and it's Pepperdine versus Penn State, which was the national championship before, and we were ball boys, we were working the event as a fundraiser for our 12 and under team. Marv comes up to me. I don't know, for some reason we're just kind of talking. I mean, I'm 8 or 9 years old. And he comes up and he's like, hey, I was like, working the event, just kind of talking because I'm a little kid. He's like, maybe someday you go to Pepperdine. I turned to him like, nah, I'm going to go to Hawaii. And I was like 8 or 9 years old at the time. And I turned Marv Dunphy down. And I mean, which is not something that you want to do, because when that guy gives you an offer, usually you want to take it. But just something kind of funny to remember in the past.
You said you solely started to practice volleyball at the age of 8. Have you always been a libero?
No. It was me. It was basically the Joe and Gage show at that age, me and Joe would go pass. I'd set, he'd set, went on the back row, just kind of everything. And then up until then, I was 10 or 11. I was playing 14s. Then I was libero. And I was libero again when I was 11, playing 14s. And then when I was in 12, and when I was 13, playing 14s, I played right side. Because I've always played way higher than that. I played 8 years up sometimes, but on average, I played 2 years up with my brother. So it wasn't until my last 2. I hit when I was really young, and then I started really going to libero, which I loved. I love libero. I was good at it, and I still love libero. Don't get me wrong.
You're still kind of good at it too.
I try sometimes. I try and take those lessons that I learned. But my last 2 years at club, I had to hit, and it turns out I was pretty good at hitting too. So occasionally, there's some videos out there of me hitting sometimes. You'll see it occasionally. But I knew I was always a libero hitting, not a hitter playing libero. You know what I'm saying? I knew I was libero. I love libero. That's what I want to pursue.
There's a hashtag out there on social media. I'm pretty sure you've seen it. It says, "Make Gage an outside hitter."
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to tell Coach Charlie Wade to let you hit?
No, because like I said, I love libero. I'm very satisfied, and we have plenty good hitters. We don't need it. There's no. Actually, I was recruited to some schools as a hitter though. I was recruited as some hitters. Some people wanted me as hitters. Some big name schools too. I was surprised. I was like, but I was like, nah. I knew career wise, love wise, just the best thing for me is just go libero. I was never even considering playing outside. And then, like, yeah, we want you outside. I was like, what? I was like, not that I wasn't good, but I was like, that's definitely not the move for me. So then Joe started this thing where, because I hit like in beach and like grass tournaments occasionally, like I said, I can still hit pretty well. And Joe started my brother started this new trend, or it's not that big or anything, would make Gage an outside hitter. Some people will kind of give me crap or be like, why don't you hit? Why don't you tell Charlie to hit? I don't even know if it was even come to his ears before. But we have plenty of good hitters, and I like to think I'm doing my job at libero pretty decently, so I don't see any change of position anytime soon.
Your dad, Roger, was a technical coordinator for Dave Shoji for the Rainbow Wahine in the early 2000s. What do you remember about him being a technical coordinator, and was there a point in time where you guys came out to visit and see the stand?
So are you talking about when I used to live here? Used to live in Hawaii?
Mm-hmm.
That's where my memory fogged me. I really don't remember. I'm be honest with you. I remember like something about the beaches. That's about it. But my brother was a little older. I was about like 2 or so. So it was like my memory was like so of the area. But my dad tells me stories. Coming back to the stand, you hear about it before, and you're on the court. I still remember being on the court for the first time. I was just kind of looking at the whole thing. I was like with the recruits. I'm like, come here, just stand in the middle of the stand chair and just kind of look around. And then I try to take them up top. I'm like, look at the view from up top. Like, it's insane. You can't beat that, It's really the best of both worlds. And I mean, there's nothing that can beat the stand sheriff center ever. Really, it was surreal for sure.
You talked about Packard Volleyball Club, the one that your dad owns. To play for your dad, what did that mean to you and Joe?
Meant that we always have a really, really good coach, He's been our coach, and still is our coach for sure. Maybe not be like for the team, but like we'll go back home. Technically, if you see something, he'll tell us. But coach, close to home. Obviously, that's gonna cause some problems too. Like you're gonna get a bad head sometimes, and that's okay. And no matter what your dad says, he's always like. There's always like when they're like, oh no, I balanced dad and coach. It's like sometimes that's not like they're gonna be harder on you. There's like they're gonna sometimes like go home like why aren't you blah blah and stuff. And that's a good thing. You need someone to kind of ride you like that for sure. So it was never coach is off or dad is off. It's always one and the same. And that's just how it is. And you see him if anyone see him at the Stand Sheriff Center. I give $100 to anyone who's seen him smile when he's been in the game or something like that, because that's a very, very rare moment. And he's happy. Not that he's not happy. That's just he's very focused.
We talked about your hometown, Moraga, California. You mentioned how much of a diehard fan you and your family are of the 49ers. What other Bay Area sports teams do you root for?
Oh, all of them. Everyone's going to hate me because I say it's obviously the Warriors. The Giants, I wasn't a huge A's fan, and then I saw Moneyball like in 2011. So I always kind of root for them. I'm not going to follow them, but like if I see them, I'm going to root for them. I don't watch the WNBA, so I don't know about anything like that. I don't watch or MLS, so I don't know about that. I know we have Earthquakes. Occasionally the Sharks, San Jose Sharks. That's really about it. Nothing really. Your top 3 right there, or 4 with the A's, Giants, Warriors, and Niners. The Niners not looking so great right now. That's another side. That's a topic for a whole.
That's a whole other podcast.
Yeah.
A few years ago, we'll go back to 2015. Joe is a freshman here at Hawaii. You're a junior in high school. Was it tough to be away from Joe for that long?
No, not really. My parents saw Joe as like a Jesus kind of thing. Like, for example, because my junior year, I was on my own for the first time. I'm very, just kind of more free, you know what I'm saying? And that definitely led to some headbutts to my parents for sure, There's always going to be that. You're a teenager, like 17, 16 years old. Like, you're kind of because me and my brother literally, you don't like we had one car and we had the same schedule. We'd go here to here to here, like same friends, same work schedule, same teams. No, always like at the hip, always, no matter what. There was very rare times where he'd go out. Like, well, there's very rare times when any of us go out, right? But if you go out to see friends, it's like together. You know what I'm saying? It's not like one leaves and one stays. It's like literally attached to the hip. But yeah. So like definitely when he left, I was a little more. I could be a little more rebellious. You know, kind of sometimes like too much led to me and my dad fighting more, led to me and my mom fighting more. So, and my mom was like, you need to talk to your brother. You've lost contact with your brother. That's why. So she'd literally make me call my brother, be like, hi, Joe. Be like, what'd you do? I was like, I don't know, some stupid stuff. Not really. I mean, someone was stupid, someone wasn't stupid. I mean, it just got to the point where it was just teenage bickering with your parents, you know, just common. So they kind of saw him as like I always thought like a Jesus light, like you need to go talk to the one and only, you know, to come back to your senses in a way.
We need to take a break here, Gage. Please stay right there. Along with Gage Worsley from Rainbow Warrior Volleyball, I'm Tiff Wells. You're listening to ESPN Honolulu Fan Friday Talk Story. Welcome back to episode 9 of ESPN Honolulu Fan Friday Talk Story. I'm Tiff Wells, along with men's volleyball libero. He's a junior, Gage Worsley. Now, Gage, coming out of high school, pretty highly touted, top 5 ranking, one of the top liberos in the country. How did you stay grounded?
Like mentally, like humble-wise?
Yes.
When I got here, you mean?
Yes.
I got my ass on the bench. I mean, I came in a couple times, but I mean, I was getting lit up at practice. I wasn't the big, and I saw that coming, you know. I mean, I wanted to play, not that I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna sit the bench. Like that wasn't my mindset. I know it wasn't me, a big kid on the block. I knew that, and I was excited for that. And you know, I mean, 2 is a beast, and I was not a beast at the time. But yeah. I'm not one of those guys who are like, I should be starting. You know what I'm saying? Like he clearly beat me out. I'm not blind or stupid. Like, and I mean, there are kids like that who are just like, oh, where I are playing. I'm like, why don't you just look on the court, buddy? Maybe you can read, maybe you can, there's a reason why that guy's in and you're not, you know? So having that kind of real talk, I mean, it's brutal, you know, sometimes it can take you to a dark place. Sometimes like, my freshman year, not like too dark, anything, like nothing like that, but like depression for sure, like all that, you know, like first time I haven't started, you know, a lot of kids deal with that different ways, but I was like, you know what, you know, selfishly speaking, I remember when our season got canceled, a few years later, I was like, all right, your time, Gage, your time to shine. And let me tell you, going into my sophomore year, there was fights with my brother, there were times where he wasn't the most supportive, I'll be honest, but maybe he was just being he was and it wasn't. It was just kind of a combination of just fighting, like, oh yeah, you're going to, like Joe just be an asshole and just be like, he's being a jerk and just like, we bicker and we fight, like, you're going to get benches here, you're going to not even play. I'm like, yeah, and then we just go at it. So there was a time there where I wasn't, in my sophomore year going in, there wasn't, I don't want to say there wasn't like there was a ton of support. There were just some guys that I was close with that just like I didn't want to be around because like that are some of my best friends right now, you know, there was a time there where it just wasn't as, I don't know, just I was down and they were like, I don't know. It was just a mixture of stuff. But then, you know, I'll tell you one thing that helps a lot. You play well and you win, that solves all your problems. I'm not even kidding. So definitely that helped, and then kind of here I am now, I guess.
Let's go back a few more years to senior year of high school, and it's signing day. You had UCLA, BYU, USC, Hawaii, among many schools that were trying to recruit you. Take us through signing day and what led you to pick to be a Rainbow Warrior.
Well, I know USC. You want me to go through schools and tell me why I didn't choose them? I'll do that. I have no problem doing that. So USC, I didn't go to USC because, I don't know, a lot of those kids are like SoCal kids, and, you know, it's like, I don't know, they'll probably party a lot too. So I was like, that's just not my culture, and so I wasn't feeling. And they weren't. I mean, they were still a really good team. Don't get me wrong, but I was like, I don't know. That's just not my vibe right there. The USC. I mean, think of the stereotypical USC kid. I don't see myself fitting in that as well. UCLA, really good program, really good history and everything. Kind of not. I mean, it's a SoCal vibe too. I mean, for those listening, I guess Northern California. I'm from Northern California, Bay Area, as Tiff kind of said, and Northern California and Southern California can definitely be for sure, right? So you got UCLA. I didn't go to them because, I don't know. Not. I mean, there was still definitely a SoCal, nothing SoCal kind of vibe there, which I wasn't feeling. I was very close to committing there. The thing that kind of stopped me, I was like, you know what, like, I don't know if I fit in with a lot of these guys, you know, like, I mean, like the party scene is still big there. Not that it doesn't at Hawaii, but like, it was just like, I don't know, just kind of thing. But I can't, and then BYU, I just don't like, kind of the religion aspect of it. I'm not very religious at all. I know not a lot of non-religious people go there, but I don't know. I just don't think that it wasn't lining up very well there with me. I chose Hawaii eventually because it was just I chose my brother, you know. Chose my brother, and the various stuff that comes along with Hawaii that kind of goes along with it. And I definitely did not regret it at all. And here I am now, and don't look back.
What does it mean to you when you guys are traveling on the mainland and you guys have a larger and a more vocal crowd than the team you guys are playing at?
Hopefully we embarrass them, to be honest. You know, hopefully, you know, we're like, oh, damn, like, that'd be cool if they look in the stands like, damn, why don't we? It's like, because, I don't know, because we got a big fan base. We got a lot of people there. I mean, it's phenomenal for the fans there. It shows the culture of Hawaii. Just like, no matter where you go, we get to freaking Kentucky. Like, yeah, I grew up in Waianae. I'm like, what are you doing here? Like, what? Like, but, that's just the culture, man. It's just Hawaii. Just so the network is so big, and just it's like BYU kind of same thing. It's like those two programs. Like no matter where you go, you're gonna get fans from Waianae, from wherever, you know, somewhere on the island. It just kind of shows, you know, you're playing for something bigger than yourself.
2018, you're wrapping up your freshman year. You're named freshman all conference. Team loses in the Big West tournament final, and you guys are on the plane ride heading back home. And it's just maybe somewhere in the middle of that flight where Coach Charlie Wade finds out that unfortunately you guys didn't make the NC2A tournament. How did you guys use that as sort of fuel or as like bulletin board material coming into that 2019 season?
We tried to. We remember we just went to UCLA. Well, first of all, we tried to destroy every team that year, right? Not successful with a specific team here. If you get what I'm saying, there was a certain team that I was not very successful with, but I went to UCI, and I actually watched the games over a couple days ago. I watched the UCI games. We went because they got in front of us, and I was just like, I just remember I was like, let's destroy these guys. Like, and we went and we just absolutely thumped them, and we embarrassed them, which was our whole plan. We're like, we're not only gonna come and destroy you guys, we're gonna try and embarrass you guys, and luckily that's what we did, you know. And we were successful in our vengeance. We were pumped after that, and we just kind of rode that wave. That's the season.
2019, it's the middle of March. You guys are on a winning streak, a set win streak, and it's the final day of that BYU Invitational in Provo. To get the program's first ever win in Provo since 2003, fourth ever win in UH history at BYU. What did it mean to you guys to get that win in a very convincing fashion?
Oh, yeah. Also, same thing. I mean, the crowd was crazy. We loved it. I remember going there my senior, senior year. I think it was my junior year, actually. Seeing everything, I was like, whoa, like this is where I want to be, you know. Not at BYU. This is where I want to play, like away, you know. So I go there. I was like, Gage, and I made myself a promise. I was like, next time you're here, bro, I want you to just silence everyone here. And that was our thing. It was like, go out, focus on our stuff. We knew they weren't having that great of a season, but they're still very talented. They had the same players this year that they had this year, you know. So they were talented. They just weren't clicking at the time. And, I mean, when they're clicking, they're on, and they're very, very on. And when they have that home crowd behind them, I know. I mean, it's one of the gnarliest places to play in the world, let alone college volleyball. So We go in there. The crowd's getting into it. We're getting into it. And I just remember I had, if you watch the game over, I don't know if they showed it, but I was definitely going at it with the crowd. So I was like, have fun in this game. Just first of all, destroy these guys. Second of all, silence everyone in this building, and that's what we did. And I was like, it was by the end of it, they were just hear crickets out there,
And you got a kill early on in that match.
Oh
right?
yeah. The guy's senior night too. I was a sophomore. And it was his senior night, and I got a kill on him, and I was just dying laughing. I was like, that made my life. If I don't survive this game, I'm good. I'm chilling. I just had the greatest moment of my career probably, and I'll never let go of that. And like I said, it's a senior night, so it's kind of funny too. I just found that kind of funny. No. But definitely super fun though.
What did it mean to win the conference tournament in 2019 at home, to win the title over Long Beach State?
Before or after the whole season?
Just kind of at the time when you guys beat Long Beach State, to know that you guys had qualified for the NC2A tournament, but more so to be the first team to ever win the Big West Conference tournament.
That team is so good, like both teams, Long Beach and Hawaii, and for us, we had such high aspirations that for me, it was just kind of a note on the side of that season. You know what I'm saying? The big thing for me is that we kind of lost, right? So now that Big West championship, it's like, for me, it's just like, I mean, I get it. I don't want to be like, you know what I'm saying? But like, at the same time, it's like, if you have one goal to win the national championship and you don't win it, then it's just like everything else that happened, the sets, the Big West is just not as, in the moment I was super excited, I was super happy, but I saw the other team on the side of the net and they were just like all lined up in a horizontal line. I mean, they were just nodding their head. They're like, we're going to get you guys after. And as soon as I saw some of our guys getting super emotional, I was like, guys, let's not, we didn't win the national championship. We did not get our goal yet. Enjoy it. Shouldn't be out here celebrating crazy like we are. Let's calm down. Let's focus on our big goals ahead of us. And we didn't conquer that. So that definitely left a sour taste in our nose. I mean, once you have a huge, big season, you set yourself a huge goal, everything else that you kind of do in that season that you accomplish becomes like null. It becomes like, I don't want to sound like a Debbie Downer, but that's just kind of how I think of it. Like, it made everything that we did in that season, it didn't really matter since we didn't win, in my opinion. Other guys might look at it differently.
The BYU series this past March, how tough was it to pass Gabby Garcia Fernandez's serve?
So that was not my first night. Sorry, give me a second, guys. The first night, sorry about that. The first night, came in cocky, way too cocky. I was too relaxed, I try, and when I feel myself too relaxed, I try and hype myself up. Be like, Gage, if you don't do this right, you're gonna cost the team. You're gonna cost the loss. You're gonna cause a lot of like bad. Like you better get ready, because when I feel the nerves, that's when I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go. When I don't feel those, I'm like, that's not good. I'm too relaxed right now. Came in too relaxed. Got absolutely handled. He could have served every ball, man. I probably would have shanked it. I'm not even kidding. I was that bad. I mean, most of you probably watched him, but you saw it. Horrible. Second night, all right. My mom comes, talks to me. She's like, what? Oh, man, a PG version of this. She's like, what the heck were you doing out there? That was embarrassing. Rattle's like, yeah, we just went out there. I was like, we literally just can't say that either. We literally just basically got, again, manhandled out there. Like we walked out, we walked in, shook their hands, and just left. That was basically what just happened. And they deserved that. I mean, we were too cocky, we were too comfortable. Second night, I was like, okay, I gotta come up. My mom was like yelling at me. She was like so mad at me. She's like, you weren't taking a leadership. You need to take more of a leadership role. You were not present at all. You were like basically calling me out on all the stuff that I was doing. Which she's completely right. So I take more of a leadership role. I get more into it. I get more focused. I'm more like, Gage, you need to turn it up right now. Like, if you think you're all that, if you think you're deserving of all this, let's see it. So then I kind of take more of a leadership role, more energetic. I try and, no matter what happens to me, I'm like, I know you screwed up, Gage. Just whenever I screwed up, just like focus on the team. Whenever someone else screwed up, focus on the team. So the first night, like I said, you could serve me every ball. Second night, I mean, when you have such a good server, he's always going to get a few serves off you, but I felt like and we try to set it up where I can take most of the balls, right? I was like, second night I felt not invincible because, like I said, once you reach, there's some great servers out there where they're gonna get their points, you know. But I was like, come at me, like I want it, and luckily I did pretty well. At least I think I did, and handling him, and it's so fun facing him, to be honest. Because I only pass and dig, unless sometimes I hit, depends where I am. So that's for liberos. That's the top of the top right there. The best hitter and the best server, going at you, and that's what you want. I mean, it's so fun. So second night, great. First night, no bueno.
That following week, you guys are in Northridge getting ready for the Big West Conference for your opener, your first two matches at CSUN. When did you guys find out the season was going to be postponed and then later canceled, and what was kind of going through your mind as you guys flew back knowing the season was done?
First thing was, remember the day before, so we left on Wednesday, right? Thursday, we were going to play on Friday. Thursday, we have practice and whatnot, right? Kind of getting ready from our jet lag and off the plane. All happened Thursday, I'm pretty sure. We get off. Excuse me, sorry. We get off Thursday. I'm pretty sure it was Thursday. We get off Thursday. We go in there and call team meeting. We're like, hey, they haven't practiced. Like, CSUN hadn't practiced for like 2 weeks. We learned. We're like, or a week or two. And we're like, wait, why? Like, oh yeah, some guys have flu-like symptoms. I'm like, I'm not going in that gym then. I'm not going to practice. Like, they better sanitize that. I'm not that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd go in to play. Don't get me wrong. Nothing's going to stop me from playing. But, like, practicing-wise, it's like, and then they're like, oh yeah, like, they're not letting us in the gym. We're like, okay. And then it gets worse. Like, oh yeah, possibly postponed. Like, the Big West is not allowing any games or blah, blah. And we also had a Pepperdine game that trip as well. So we're like, okay, we still play Pepperdine because they're not Big West. Pepperdine says no. This all happened like in an hour and a half. And then we're watching ESPN. Bam. NCAA has made a final. They're canceling everything. And you just see, and you're like, well, season's down the drain. Didn't really hit me for a little while. I was like, well, that sucks. Going on the trip back, I don't even remember the trip back, to be honest. It was like, we came back, got our stuff out of the locker, I guess, and just called it that. And the next day, I remember we didn't have anything. I was like, so now, like, what do we do now? Like, I don't know what to do with my life. So I remember we just kind of just did online school and just we're all in kind of shock, to be honest.
There's a project that you and a few other teammates have done throughout the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to us about what you guys have done online, and for people that had not gotten a chance to listen or watch, how can they find out about this?
Yeah, so we started originally what was kind of a volleyball podcast. We turned into a YouTube channel now. We make videos. We do volleyball podcasts. What started out as me, Max, and Joe, and then eventually Rado. Max has since stepped away from the group because he had school and stuff to focus on. We totally understood. So he's no longer part of it. It's called Out of System, or a YouTube channel. You can find us on YouTube. We started the podcast now. It's me, Joe, and Micah Ma'a. We have our own podcast. It's called If You Can't Handle the Heat. Out of System is the whole kind of brand name. You can find Out of System on YouTube. Check us out there. You can find If You Can't Handle the Heat. You can check it out on Spotify. We're also on Instagram, Out of System. Check us out. But yeah, so we did all this, and we're just basically kind of slow and steady, kind of churning out projects and whatnot, and just having fun with it. Just volleyball content and non-volleyball content.
It's a little over 3,400 followers, and you guys are doing something quite special. Now, lastly here, Gage, or second to last question, who's the better cook, you or Joe?
I think it used to be me, but Joe is now for sure because he's on his own now, right? He's more on his own, so he's been, and there's not like place you can go fast food in Europe, so he's had to really learn to cook, and he's been just going to town on the food there. So he's been doing that. So definitely Joe now for sure.
When you do get a chance to go home, what is the one dish or maybe a couple dishes you ask mom or dad to make you?
For my birthday, she made me like tri-tip. I love my mom's burgers too, and probably some taco salad for sure. My top three right there. Oh, well, there's so many more. Cream chicken. Got cream chicken there. There's so many different kinds of chicken she makes. It's just all good. You never go home and like, my mom's an insane cook, and she makes like 5 different dishes every night. So props to her and mad love to her.
Lastly, Gage, you know there's a lot of Rainbow Warrior fans, not just on the island, not around the state, but it's a worldwide fan base. If you had a chance to give them a message right now, what would you tell them?
Live Aloha, play Warrior. That's our motto for our team. But we're trying to get back. We're really trying to get back, and hopefully we can give you guys something to kind of get behind and make a run for a title or just run for something. You know, because like I said, we represent you guys, and we realize that, and we want to definitely put our best out there because we know the name on the well for the back, I guess, because Hawaii is on our back is so important to all of us. So definitely stay tuned, guys. We're gonna try and make this happen and represent you guys with the best we got.
Gage, this has been a lot of fun today. We really appreciate the time you've given us. Thank you so much, and we can't wait to see you guys on the Terraflex, we hope, for Warrior Ball 21. Thanks again.
Thank you, guys.
For Gage, as well as the rest of us here at ESPN Honolulu, I'm Tiff Wells saying thank you for joining us for the 9th edition of ESPN Honolulu Fan Friday Talk Story. Until next week, wear that mask, stay safe, and be socially distant.